Okay, good morning, all of you. I welcome you all for today's class. So, in this class, let us try to understand the first question 1A and 1B. So, let me share the screen and I would like to explain 1A in this video. Please wait. The first question was state and explain Kirchhoff's voltage law or Kirchhoff's laws. The question was given state and explain with example. So this is the question that he was asked in the 1A. So now let us try to understand what Kirchhoff's laws are. So Kirchhoff's proposed two laws. First one is Kirchhoff's current law, that is in short named as KCL. Second one is Kirchhoff's voltage law, that is named in short as KVL. So now let us try to understand one by one these two. The first one is Kirchhoff's current law. So what Kirchhoff's current law states is, it states that the algebraic sum of currents meeting at a node in a network at any instant of time is equal to 0. So that is the Kirchhoff's current law statements. According to Kirchhoff's current law, the algebraic sum of currents meeting at a node is equal to 0. Otherwise, we can define the same Kirchhoff's law in another way. That's why here I have mentioned OR. The sum of the currents coming towards the node is equal to the sum of currents leaving the node. Otherwise, I can define this as sum of entering currents is equal to sum of leaving currents at a node. Okay, at any node in the given network, the sum of currents entering is equal to sum of currents leaving the node. So let us try to understand this with an example. So here we have illustrated this Kirchhoff's current law with an example. So let us draw this. So I have a node. What is a node? Node is the connection point of two or more elements. So I have elements like this. This is another element. This is another element. This is another element. And this is another element. Okay, all these elements are connected at a node. So the connection point of all these elements is called node. This is the node. Okay. Now let us assume the current directions. See, for example, there is a current I1 which is coming towards the node. Let it be I1 and let it be I2. I2 is leaving the node, it is going away from the node, and let it be I3. I3 also coming towards the node or entering at the node. And then I4 is also coming towards the node or entering the node. And then I5 is also leaving the node. Okay, now we try to apply Kirchhoff's current law at this node. So what we know according to Kirchhoff's current law, according to Kirchhoff's current law, the algebraic sum of currents meeting at a node is equal to 0. So in this we follow one sign convention, that is, if the current is coming towards the node or entering the node, we will take that current as negative. If the current is leaving the node or going away from the node, then that will be taken as positive. So see here, the current I1 is coming towards the node. That's why I am writing I1 as minus I1. And then I2 see here, I2 is going away from the node. So I2 is positive, that is plus I2. And then I3 is coming towards the node, so minus I3. I4 is also coming towards the node, that's why it is also negative, so minus I4. I5 is going away from the node or leaving the node, that's why it will be I5. So now all the currents are added. According to Kirchhoff's current law, the algebraic sum of currents meeting at a node is equal to 0. That's why I am making this equal to 0. So if I write all these negative terms at one place and positive terms and at one place, if I make negative common and bring this to right side, then this will become, see, if I bring this minus I1 right side, it will become plus I1. This minus I3 right side, it will become plus I3. This minus I4, if I bring right side, it will become plus I4 is equal to I2 plus I5. So both the definition, this first equation, this one indicates the first definition. The second equation, this is I5. Okay. The second one represents the second definition. So like this, you can explain the Kirchhoff's current law. So according to Kirchhoff's current law, the algebraic sum of currents meeting at a node is equal to 0. Or at a node, the sum of currents entering the node is equal to sum of the currents leaving the node. Okay. So let me go further. Okay. Now I can write this sum as sigma. So sigma current is represented with I. I am taking J is equal to 1 to n. This n indicates number of elements connected to that node. So that elements counted from 1 to n. For example, there are n elements. Here in this our example, what is n? N is 5. So in our example, n is 5. So sigma ij is equal to 0 means you start with j is equal to 1 means I1, j is equal to 2 I2, j is equal to 3 plus I3, j is equal to 4 plus I4, j is equal to 5 plus I5 is equal to 0. Actually, we are not considering any sign convention. So you can write j is equal to positive if current is leaving the node, j is negative if current is entering the node. So if you consider this sign convention also, then this will minus I1 this I3 becomes minus and this I4 also becomes minus. So you will get this equation. Okay. I hope Kirchhoff's current law is clear. Then another law that was stated by Kirchhoff's is Kirchhoff's voltage law. What Kirchhoff's voltage law states is that at any instant of time, the algebraic sum of voltages in a closed circuit is 0. Means in any closed circuit, if you add voltage drop across each element in a closed path, then it will become 0. If you add all of the voltage drops in a closed path, the sum becomes 0. So I can write, for example, let us take this circuit and we try to prove or understand what exactly the Kirchhoff's voltage law states. So let me take this circuit, let me draw here. This is Vs plus minus, and there is a resistor R1, and there is another resistor R2, and there is another resistor R3 here. So there are 3 resistors and 1 voltage source in this circuit. So the voltage drop across R1 I am assuming as V1. The voltage drop across R2 I am assuming as V2. The voltage drop across R3 I am assuming as V3. Now apply Kirchhoff's voltage law. According to Kirchhoff's voltage law, the algebraic sum of voltages around a closed path is equal to 0. So my convention is I always start with the negative terminal of the source. That's why I am taking source voltage as minus Vs plus the voltage drop across resistor R1 is V1 plus the voltage drop across resistor R2, that is V2, plus the voltage drop across R3, that is V3, is equal to 0. Okay. Now I can write this as Vs is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. So like this you can explain. First you have to state the Kirchhoff's current law and current voltage law, and then explain Kirchhoff's current law with an example and explain Kirchhoff's voltage law with an example. Okay. Now let us go to the part B. The question is given. Part B, what he is asking? Find the equivalent resistance between 2 points A and B of the figure shown in figure. So circuit shown in figure, he is asking us to find what is the resistance between these terminals A and B, that is RAB. So generally when we are explaining, we saw the circuits like this, and generally we represent A, B, and we use it to find RAB like this. But in this circuit, he is given the same circuit. This is like this only, but he tilted in order to confuse you. So never confuse. Whenever we want to find this equivalent resistance across terminals A and B, we'll start solving with the other side of the circuit. So as we want to find equivalent resistance across terminals A and B here in this circuit, we have to start from this side. Okay. So otherwise, let me redraw this circuit so that your understanding will be much clear. So I am redrawing the same circuit. This is the terminal A. After that there is a resistor which is 100 ohm, and after that there is a 800 ohm resistor here, and here there is 100 ohm resistor. So this is terminal A and this is terminal B. So again here there is a 200 ohm resistor, and then there is 800 ohm resistor here, and then another 200 ohm resistor here, and then there is another 100 ohm resistor here, 600 ohm resistor here, and then 100 ohm resistor here. So now we want to find RAB across the terminals A and B. So now we have to start solving from this side. So if you observe, for example, there is a current I comes here, for example. See, whatever the current that is coming and flowing through this 100 ohm, the current has to flow like this only, because it has no other path. So it has to flow like this only. Means the current flowing through this 100 ohm, this 600 ohm and this 100 ohm is same. The current is same, then the elements are said to be connected in series. When the elements are connected in series, we can add them and replace all the three elements with a single resistor. So let me redraw the circuit. So I am redrawing the circuit and replacing these three elements with a single resistor having a resistance which is sum of 100 plus 600 plus 100. So let me write otherwise. 100 ohm, 600 ohm and 100 ohm are connected in series. So we can replace them with a resistor having resistance which is equal to 100 plus 600 plus 100 ohms, that is 800 ohms. So let me redraw the circuit by replacing those three resistors with a single resistor having 800 ohm as the resistance. So I am redrawing. This is this 100 ohms, this is 800 ohm, and again this is 100 ohm. This is 200, this is 800, and another 200 will be there here. Okay. Now these three elements will be replaced with a single resistor having 800 ohms. Now if you observe closely, see this 800 ohm and this 800 ohm are connected between pair of nodes. If the elements are connected between pair of nodes, then equivalent resistance will be, those two are said to be in parallel, then the equivalent resistance will be 800 ohm parallel with 800 ohm can be replaced with a resistor having resistance so resistance which is equal to R is equal to 800 into 800 divided by 800 plus 800. So R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. So I can replace this 800 ohm and this 800 ohm with a single resistor having resistance 800 multiplied by 800 divided by 800 plus 800, that is 1600. So these two zeros will be 8 ones are 8 twos are So 2 4 the 800. See, if two elements having resistance which is equal are connected in parallel, then those can be replaced with a single resistor having resistance half of this, that is 800 by 2. It will become 400 ohms. Okay. Now let me redraw the circuit. Now the circuit becomes 100 ohm, 800 ohm, 100 ohm. This is A and this is B. Now this 200, these two 800s now replaced with a 400 ohm resistor. This is 400, this is another 200. Now if you observe, for example, there is a current coming here and flowing through this 200. The same current will flow through 400 and this 200 also. So these three are in series. Now you can replace these three with a resistor having resistance 200 plus 400 plus 200, that is 800. So I am directly redrawing. This 100 ohm, see 200 ohm, 400 ohm and 200 ohm are in series. So can be replaced by 200 plus 400 plus 200, that is 800 ohm resistor. Okay, now this is 800 already. Now another 800 is coming here and there is a 100 ohm here. This is terminal A, this is terminal B, this is 800. Now again if you observe, this 800 and 800 are in parallel. So can be replaced with a single resistor having resistance 400. So in parallel, if two elements are connected in parallel, if the resistance values are same, can be replaced with a single resistor having half of the resistance. So I am redrawing this 100 ohm. This will become 400 ohm and another 100. This is terminal A, this is terminal B. I want RAB. See this 400 how you got is 800 parallel with 800 can be replaced by 800 multiplied by 800 divided by 800 plus 800. So 800 into 800 divided by 1600. 8 1 the 8 2 the 400 the 800. So that's why I have written 400 ohms here. Okay, now you see whatever current coming here, it has to flow like this only. Means 100 ohms, 400 ohms and 100 ohms are in series. So RAB becomes 100 plus 400 plus 100. So therefore RAB is equal to 600 ohms. This is the solution for this circuit. I hope it is clear. Thank you all.